Miner pulled up a screen. You're right. Strange signals are coming from Sector 9. Ships disappearing. Colonies silent. It's spreading. Ellen stepped closer. Then we fight. Jack looked at the three of them. We don't just fight. We prepare. I need to learn more about this power. And we need allies, humans and aliens. If we want to survive, we have to stand together. Zara opened a book of old alien writings. There's a place, an old temple on planet Virax. It's said to hold a guardian who protects the truth. Jack's eyes lit up. Then that's where we go next. The journey to Virax was not easy. The planet was far, and the path was filled with dangers. As they traveled through space, they were attacked by strange ships, dark, silent, and fast. Ellen took the controls. These aren't normal pirates. They move like shadows. Jack reached out with his power. He could feel the ships. They were not alive. They were controlled by something dark, something watching him. He raised his hand, and a bright wave of energy burst from the ship. The shadow vessel stopped for a moment, then vanished into the stars. Everyone stared at Jack. What was that? Maya asked. Jack looked at his hand. I don't know, but it worked. When they landed on Virax, the planet was quiet. Too quiet. The ground was dry and cracked. The sky was a dull red. They found the temple hidden in a deep canyon. It looked old and broken, but Jack could feel the energy coming from inside. As they entered, the walls lit up. The temple was reacting to Jack's presence. In the center stood a tall figure. It was not human. Its skin was silver, and its eyes glowed blue. It was the Guardian. I've been waiting, the Guardian said in a calm voice. Jack stepped forward. You know who I am. The Guardian nodded. You carry the light of the ancients, the last spark of hope. But power alone is not enough. You must understand your enemy. Then teach me, Jack said. The Guardian placed a hand on Jack's chest. A wave of memory hit him. He saw the enemy's face, a creature of pure darkness, born from fear and hate. It had no name, only hunger. You must unite the broken, the Guardian said. Bring enemies together. Only together can you stop what is coming. Jack stepped back. I understand. The Guardian looked at the group. Your journey will not be easy. Friends will become enemies, and enemies may become friends. Ellen grunted. That doesn't sound good. Zara smiled. It means we have a chance. The Guardian faded into light. Go now. Time is running out. As they left the temple, Jack felt a new fire in his heart. He was no longer just fighting to survive. He was fighting to protect every life in the galaxy, human and alien. Back on the ship, Jack turned to the team. We need more allies, more strength. We need to bring the lost worlds together. Maya nodded. Then let's start with the outer colonies. Jack looked at the stars. The darkness is coming. But we won't run. We'll stand, together. And with that, their ship rose into the sky, on its way to build an army from the ruins of fear, toward a war no one thought could be won. But Jack believed now. The power was awake, and hope had returned. The galaxy was no longer quiet. Across the stars, strange signals were heard. Colonies sent warnings before going silent. Space stations vanished. Darkness moved like a storm. Jack stood at the front window of his ship, watching the stars. His team was behind him, Maya, Ellen, and Zara. Each of them knew what was coming. Enemy ships were spotted near Sector 7, Maya said. They destroyed everything in their path. No survivors. Jack took a deep breath. Then it's starting. The war is here. Ellen cracked his knuckles. Good. Let them come. We'll fight. Zara looked worried. This isn't just a normal war. These enemies aren't like anything we've seen before. They don't talk. They don't feel. They only destroy. Jack nodded. That's why we must fight smarter, not just harder. Their first stop was Planet Auron, a colony known for its strong defenses. Jack hoped to form an alliance. The planet's leaders, however, were not interested. "We can defend ourselves," Commander Voss said. "We don't need help." Jack tried to reason. "This enemy is not like pirates or rebels. They don't attack for power. They attack to erase." Voss crossed his arms. "Still, we are prepared." Jack looked around the meeting room. Soldiers stood ready, their armor shining. "You won't survive alone," Jack said quietly. "And when your walls fall, there will be no one left to help." There was silence. Zara stepped forward. "We're not asking for control. We're offering unity. The only way to win is together." Finally, Voss nodded. "All right, Oram will stand with you." One by one, other colonies followed. Some gave weapons. Others sent ships. Slowly, a fleet began to form. But the enemy moved fast. But they left a plan, a final hope, a human. Jack opened his eyes. "It's me." The journey to Orcs was not easy. The planet was far, and the path was filled with dangers. As they traveled through space, they were attacked by strange ships, dark, silent, and fast. Ellen took the controls. "These aren't normal pirates. They move like shadows." Jack reached out with his power. He could feel the ships. They were not alive. They were controlled by something dark, something watching him. He raised his hand, and a bright wave of energy burst from the ship. The shadow vessel stopped for a moment, then vanished into the stars. Everyone stared at Jack. "What was that?" Maya asked. Jack looked at his hand. "I don't know, but it worked." When they landed on Virex, the planet was quiet, too quiet. The ground was dry and cracked. The sky was a dull red. They found the temple hidden in a deep canyon. It looked old and broken, but Jack could feel the energy coming from inside. As they entered, the walls lit up. The temple was reacting to Jack's presence. In the center stood a tall figure. It was not human. Its skin was silver, and its eyes glowed blue. It was the Guardian. "I've been waiting," the Guardian said in a calm voice. Jack stepped forward. "You know who I am." The Guardian nodded. "You carry the light of the ancients, the last spark of hope. But power alone is not enough. You must understand your enemy." "Then teach me," Jack said. The Guardian placed a hand on Jack's chest. A wave of memory hit him. He saw the enemy's face, a creature of pure darkness, born from fear and hate. It had no name, only hunger. "You must unite the broken," the Guardian said. "Bring enemies together. Only together can you stop what is coming." Jack stepped back. "I understand." The Guardian looked at the group. "Your journey will not be easy. Friends will become enemies, and enemies may become friends." Ellen grunted. "That doesn't sound good." Zara smiled. "It means we have a chance." The Guardian faded into light. "Go now. Time is running out." As they left the temple, Jack felt a new fire in his heart. He was no longer just fighting to survive. He was fighting to protect every life in the galaxy, human and alien. Back on the ship, Jack turned to the team. "We need more allies, more strength. We need to bring the lost worlds together." Mina nodded. "Then let's start with the outer colonies." Jack looked at the stars. "The darkness is coming, but we won't run. We'll stand, together." And with that, their ship rose into the sky, on its way to build an army from the ruins of fear, toward a war no one thought could be won. But Jack believed now. The power was awake, and hope had returned. The power was no longer sleeping. It had awakened, inside him. Now, he had a mission. Find the core of the darkness and destroy it before it destroyed everything. He didn't know how much time he had, but he knew one thing for sure. He was no longer just a scout. He was the last light in the coming storm. Jack walked through the ruins with steady steps. The power inside him pulsed softly, like a second heartbeat. The air was warm and strange. It felt like the ruins were alive and watching him. The visions from the cube still flashed in his mind. Cities destroyed, planets burning, and a shadow spreading through the stars. The enemy was not just strong, it was ancient, and it was coming fast. Jack needed help. He couldn't fight this alone. He left the ruins and stepped outside. The sky was dark purple, and 2 moons floated above the mountains. His communicator buzzed. "Jack, are you alive?" It was Maya, his team's tech specialist. "I'm here," Jack answered. "Things are worse than we thought." Maya's voice was shaky. "We lost contact for hours." "What happened down there?" "I found the artifact," Jack said. "But it's not just an artifact. It gave me something. Power. Knowledge. I don't know how to explain it." There was a long pause. "I believe you," Maya finally said. "And you're not alone. Meet me at the old station. We have others who want to help." Jack smiled. "On my way." 2 hours later, Jack arrived at the abandoned research station. It was quiet, covered in dust and rust, but inside, Maya waited with 2 others, Ellen, a strong fighter from the outer colonies, and Zara, a former alien translator who had worked with ancient texts. When Jack walked in, Ellen stood up quickly. "So you're the chosen one, huh?" Jack raised an eyebrow. "I didn't choose this. It chose me." Ellen crossed his arms. "Let's hope it made the right choice." Zara stepped forward. "I've read about this in the old records. A power that sleeps until someone worthy wakes it. You must be that someone, Jack." Jack nodded. "Thanks, but we don't have much time. The darkness is coming. I saw it in the visions. Entire planets are already gone." The cold wind blew across the empty, broken landscape. Dust clouds swirled in the air, and the ground was cracked and scorched. There was no sign of life. The planet, once full of alien civilizations, was now abandoned, left in ruins after a failed invasion. The tall buildings lay in pieces, the roads broken and overgrown with weeds. A single human soldier, Jack Turner, stood alone at the edge of the ruins, looking out over the wasteland. Jack had been sent here to explore the planet, a place no one had dared visit since the aliens' last battle. His mission was simple: find out what happened, gather any useful information, and report back. But standing there, staring at the wreckage, Jack felt a strange feeling in his chest. It wasn't fear, but something deeper, something he couldn't explain. It was like the planet itself was calling to him. "Just focus on the mission," Jack muttered to himself, gripping his rifle tightly. He knew what he was here to do, but the ruins felt so alive, as if they were hiding something. With a deep breath, Jack started walking into the heart of the destroyed city. The buildings towered above him, their windows shattered, and their walls cracked. The place had once been a hub of alien life, filled with technology far beyond human understanding. But now, it was silent, dead, and forgotten. Jack had no idea what he was hoping to find. He wasn't expecting answers, just clues. As he walked, his boots echoed against the cracked pavement, and the sound seemed too loud for such a quiet place. There was a feeling of unease in the air. Something wasn't right. After hours of searching, Jack finally came upon something strange. Hidden beneath a pile of broken concrete and twisted metal was an old weathered door. It was unlike anything he had seen before, made of a smooth, shiny metal that seemed to shimmer in the dim light of the dying sun. The door wasn't damaged, unlike everything else around it. It was as if it had been untouched by time. Jack felt drawn to it. He approached cautiously, his hand resting on the rifle slung across his back. There were no signs of danger, but his instincts told him to be careful. Slowly, he pushed the door open, revealing a dark hallway inside. The air was thick and heavy with dust, but there was something else, something faintly alive. With his heart pounding in his chest, Jack stepped into the darkness. The hallway stretched on, narrow and winding, with strange markings on the walls. The symbols looked like nothing he had ever seen before, alien script that twisted and curled in ways his eyes couldn't quite follow. Jack couldn't make sense of them, but they gave him an uneasy feeling. They seemed important. As he moved deeper into the building, he noticed a faint glow coming from the far end of the hallway. It was soft, almost as if the light was coming from within the walls themselves. Jack's curiosity got the best of him. He had to know what it was. He picked up the pace, his footsteps echoing louder in the quiet hallway. The glow grew stronger as he approached. When he reached the end, he found himself standing in a large room, the source of the light now clear. In the center of the room stood an object. It was like nothing Jack had ever seen before. The object was large, round, and covered in strange patterns. It looked like a huge ancient relic from a long-forgotten civilization. The glow came from within, pulsing like a heartbeat. It was beautiful, but at the same time, it felt dangerous. Jack couldn't explain why, but the longer he looked at it, the more he felt like he shouldn't be there. His hand instinctively reached for his weapon, but he didn't draw it. Instead, he slowly approached the object, his eyes fixed on the glowing patterns. The moment his fingers brushed against the smooth surface, something strange happened. The object seemed to respond to his touch. The glow intensified, and a low hum filled the air, vibrating through the floor beneath him. Jack stepped back in surprise. The hum grew louder, and the room began to shake. His heart raced. He didn't know what he had triggered, but whatever it was powerful. He needed to get out of there, fast. But as he turned to leave, the door slammed shut behind him. The walls of the room began to pulse with energy, and Jack's breath caught in his throat. He was trapped. The object in the center of the room glowed brighter, and Jack could feel its energy tugging at him, pulling him closer. He knew he had to escape, but his legs felt heavy, as if something was stopping him from moving. Suddenly, a voice broke through the air. It was deep and alien, a language Jack couldn't understand. The voice was coming from the object, but it wasn't just sound. It was a feeling, a presence. It was like the object itself was speaking to him. For a moment, Jack stood frozen, unsure of what to do. His mind raced, trying to make sense of what was happening. Was this some kind of trap? Had the aliens set this up as a test for humans, or was it something else entirely? As he struggled to think, the energy from the object flared once more, and Jack was thrown back. He landed hard against the cold floor, his vision blurry. He fought to stay conscious as the room continued to pulse with power. But before he could react, everything went dark. Jack slowly opened his eyes. His head throbbed with pain, and the room spun around him. For a moment, he didn't know where he was. The last thing he remembered was the strange energy from the object in the room, throwing him back. He blinked a few times, trying to clear his vision. The room was dim, but he could make out the faint glow of the artifact still shining in the center. The pulsating light was softer now, almost as if it was waiting for something. Jack pushed himself up, his body feeling sore from the fall. He took a deep breath, trying to steady himself. He had no idea what had happened, but one thing was clear. Whatever that object was, it was powerful, and it wanted him to know something. He got to his feet and walked slowly toward the object. His fingers itched to touch it again, but he was cautious now. Whatever had happened before wasn't normal, and he wasn't sure he wanted to risk it happening again. But his curiosity was too strong. He had to know what it was. As he approached, Jack noticed something strange. The alien markings on the walls seemed to glow faintly, as if they were reacting to the artifact's energy. The symbols weren't just decorations. They were part of the mystery. Jack's mind raced as he tried to make sense of it. Why had this object been hidden here? Why had it chosen him? Before he could think any further, the voice returned. The deep, alien voice that had spoken to him before. This time, however, it wasn't just a feeling or a vibration in the air. The voice seemed clearer, more direct, human. The voice said, echoing in his mind, "You have awakened what should not be." Jack's heart skipped a beat. The voice was speaking directly to him now. It wasn't just a strange sound or vibration anymore. It was as if the object was alive, communicating with him in a way that was both alien and familiar. "Who are you?" Jack asked aloud, though he didn't expect an answer. There was a long pause. Then the voice spoke again, its tone calm but filled with authority. "I am an artifact of the ancients, created to store knowledge. Knowledge that could save or destroy your world." Jack felt a chill run down his spine. This wasn't just some alien relic. This was something far more dangerous. He had stumbled upon something much bigger than himself, and he wasn't sure he was ready for it. "Why me?" Jack asked, his voice barely above a whisper. The voice responded, the words heavy with mystery. "You are the one who has unlocked the path. You have the strength to understand, but be warned, knowledge is power, and power can destroy." Jack stood still, trying to absorb the meaning of the words. This wasn't just about the artifact. It was about the future of humanity. And if he wasn't careful, he could bring about the end of it. The room felt colder now. The walls seemed to close in around him. Jack could feel the weight of the situation pressing on him. He had to make a choice. What was this artifact? Was it a weapon, a tool for survival, or something more dangerous? "Show me," Jack said, his voice stronger now. He needed answers, and he wasn't going to leave without them. There was a brief silence, and then the artifact responded. Its glow grew brighter, and the air seemed to hum with energy. The walls around him flickered, and suddenly, the room was filled with images, flickering visions of the past, the present, and the future. Jack gasped as he saw the images unfold before him. He saw alien cities, their people bustling with life. He saw the invasion that destroyed everything. Massive ships descending from the sky, firing upon the planet. He saw soldiers fighting, entire civilizations crumbling. And in the middle of it all, there was the artifact, glowing brightly, calling out to the chaos around it. The images shifted, and Jack's heart raced as he saw something even more terrifying. A dark, shadowy force, something he couldn't even describe, sweeping across the galaxy, destroying everything in its path. The vision showed worlds burning, stars exploding, and entire species vanishing. The voice spoke again, this time with more urgency. Reports came from planet Deros. Giant dark ships had landed, and monsters crawled out, tearing cities apart. Jack and his team rushed there, arriving too late. The sky was black. The air was filled with smoke and screams. The ground burned with strange fire. Ellen jumped out of the ship, shooting at shadow creatures. "Let's clean this mess." Jack raised his hand. A wave of energy shot out, pushing the creatures back, but they kept coming. Zara helped wounded people into the ship. Maya hacked into the enemy's strange signals. "They're not just attacking," she said. "They're learning, changing, adapting." Jack's eyes narrowed. "Then we need to be one step ahead." They fought through the night. With help from local soldiers, they saved part of the city. But much was lost. Jack stood among the ruins. How do we win against something that never stops? Maya walked up beside him, with courage, with unity, and with you. Back on their main ship, the team worked day and night. They trained new pilots. They shared everything they had learned. Jack's power grew stronger. He could feel the enemy now, feel their hate, their hunger. One night, Jack had a vision. He saw a star turning black. He saw planets falling, and he saw a figure, tall and dark, with glowing red eyes. The enemy leader. It spoke without words. "Your light will fade. Your hope is useless." Jack woke up in sweat. "They know me," he said. "They're watching." Zara came to him. "You saw the commander, didn't you?" "Yes," Jack whispered. "He's not just powerful. He's ancient, older than any race we know." Zara looked worried. "Then we must find the old alliance." "What old alliance?" Jack asked. "The one from the First War, the hidden races, the lost warriors." Their search led them to planet Nyril, home of the Skywalkers, an old alien race who had once helped defeat darkness long ago. The planet floated in a silver nebula. It looked peaceful, untouched by war. But when they landed, they were met by silence. Ellen stepped carefully through the soft ground. "I don't like this." Suddenly, shapes moved in the mist. Tall, glowing beings surrounded them. Their eyes were calm but sharp. One of them spoke. "Why have you come, child of Earth?" Jack stepped forward. "To ask for help. The darkness has returned." The Skywalkers looked at each other. Then the leader spoke again. "We have watched. We have waited. Now we rise once more." With that, a bright sound echoed across the sky. The old alliance had returned. Back in space, the fleet was ready. Ships from 10 worlds stood side by side. Humans and aliens worked together. It was the largest force Jack had ever seen. But the enemy was ready too. Black ships filled the edge of the galaxy. They moved in silence, like shadows across water. In the center stood the commander's ship, tall, cold, and deadly. Jack stood on the bridge of his ship. "This is it," he said. "War has begun." Zara placed a hand on his shoulder. "Whatever happens, we believe in you." Maya smiled. "And we're with you till the end." Elam loaded his weapons. "Let's give them something to remember." As the two sides moved closer, Jack took one last look at the stars. They were no longer silent. They were full of war, but also full of hope.